Hi everybody and welcome to the GoBright webinar. My name is Chris Wiegeraat. I'm Commercial Director of GoBright and it's a pleasure for me to welcome you today for the GoBright webinar. So let's start. Today we're looking to facility managers and IT managers who have a lot of questions because COVID changed our landscape of the future office. And the questions could be, who will come to the office? How can I prepare my business for hybrid working? How can people work from anywhere they like? How can I scale technology? What is my purpose of the office? How will an office be used? How many meeting rooms do I need? Etc. etc. And it's a hard task to find out answers to all these questions. And today we try to help you from our GoBright vision to help you out to find some answers to these questions because it seems to be very important these days. First of all, we see now that if we try to find some answers to these questions, that hybrid working is future-proof. And what do we mean by that? It's not something which is there only for today, but it will be there for the long run. And I also believe that it's not only deciding today for what kinds of tools you want to use or what kind of working concept you want to implement. It's something that has to evaluate the coming years. So it can be scalable, it can be downsizable, it can change a little to the left or to the right. We don't know exactly, but with the knowledge of today, we can make decisions to make a start. And that's why it's important to identify a partner who is not only having a good solution, but also can work with you together. And we think that we as GoBright can be that partner for you. And that's why we're very proud that you watch this webinar. So if hybrid working is future-proof, then a few things are occurring. And first of all, we need to give flexibility. To whom? To the employees. They're used to work from home right now because they had to during the pandemic. So they expect that they still can work a little from home, a certain amount of time, which suits them the best. And if you want to attract or retain talent for the long run, you have to work with these flexible working concepts, because if you have a job interview with one of those students or new employees, they will ask you if there are possibilities for hybrid working, because it's already embedded in their thinking. And if we look back in 2019, probably approximately 40% of all employees worked from home 1 or 2 days a week. If we now see the figures in 2022, it's at least 75% of all employees prefer to work on a hybrid. So that means a few days of the week work from home. And yeah, it's sometimes difficult because during the pandemic, we saw a lot of our customers or future customers ask for booking tools, because the thought was that when everybody comes back to the office all at once, then we have not enough space. So we should make social distancing available for people to get in a safe environment. And a desk booking app, for that example, seemed to be the solution to make sure that you can limit the amount of people coming to the office at the same time. Now we're out of the pandemics and we see a total different situation. We see that offices are empty, maybe for 20% filled, and that 80% of the people are still working from home, and a small percentage of the people is coming back to the office a few days per week. So, and that's something we just experience. But how do we make it measurable? How do we get data which suits us to make strategical decisions? So if you choose technical solutions, then you can make measurements on the usage of desks, on the usage of meeting rooms, lockers, etc., anything you need. And all this data will be collected and suited for you in a dashboard. And that will help you to make decisions to how facilitate your office for the long run. Today we see that 75% of all facility managers use data to achieve a better workplace. So it's not only based on feeling, on what you think, but also on data. And we expect that in 2025, data analysis will be key for cost savings and creating the best environment you want to have at any moment for everybody. So why should you then turn to GoBright if you're in the middle of these questions yourself? Well, as I already said, that we're here for the long run. We aim at long-term relationships. So if you look to our customer portfolio, then we also have customer success managers, for example, who will contact some of our customers every quarter to make a review of if we're still satisfied and if we're still going the right direction. What changed in your working concept? What needs are occurring today so that we can adapt to that? And that makes us a partner who not only supply you with a solution today, but also with a good working vision for the long time. And that's important above the fact that technical innovation is leading, for example, and also employee well-being. 77% of all CEOs have employee satisfaction as their top priority. So it's not only a priority anymore of HR, but it's also a CEO priority. And that says to me that this is a vision that is also for the long run. How do we acquire the right people? How do we get them in our organization? How do we keep them? And how do they stay healthy? And a lot of the answers to those questions are in the working concept. So do you provide them with a good chair? Do you provide your people with a good desk, which is running up and down, for example, so that they don't have to sit all day? So workplace optimization is very important for the employee well-being. And you need software for that. So as we see today that Microsoft, for example, appointed a chief hybrid working officer, it's also a C-level priority. So larger companies will look into hybrid working, not only today, but for the long run. And there will be a C-level executive responsible who covers and keeps together ICT, facility, and HR to find out what the best solution is today, but also in the future. And if you look to the Go Bright program, we touch all these points. In the middle, we have the user. So we develop our solutions always from a user perspective, because we think that if the user is satisfied or even unaware that he's using our solutions, then they will use it. So if it's easy to handle, if it's integrated with Microsoft Outlook or Google G Suite, if it's visible on the desk, if it helps you to get the right room as soon as you need it, then the users will be very satisfied. So, and if the user is satisfied, then facility management can also collect all the data from everybody and not just a part of it. And because of the high standards for our security and implementation status for ICT, we also keep IT departments satisfied. And because of the fact that people like to use our products, that it gives them an overview of what will happen if they go to the office today, if they have availability of a desk, of a meeting room, of a space, etc., make sure that they will come to the office. And that's also a very important purpose to HR, for example. So you see in this circle that we touch all major stakeholders within your organization. And what do we add to a good product program? Because we will focus a little on the products in a few minutes, but it's not only about the product, it's also about the structure and how we work. So first of all, Go Bright is ISO 27001 and ISO 9001 certified. And the 27001 is very important in our business because it says something about data security, and not only about the data, but also how we secure all our processes. And data security today is a big topic. So next to the data processor agreement that we have in place for all our customers, all our processes are ISO 27001 certified. And it means that we also only work on a Microsoft Azure platform, which is also ISO 27001 certified. So we comply to the highest range of measures that we could possibly take and which is available in the business today. We also take care of our legal responsibility. So next to the fact that we have a data processor agreement, we also have a very clear license subscription agreement. And these two documents document basically how we work together when you start using our license subscriptions. And we also have a legal counsel. So if you say, well, we like to make some adjustments or it doesn't comply to our organization, then we're always open to discuss this together to find a solution. And until now, we work it out with every customer. And next to that, we also are very knowledgeable and we do a lot of trainings of all our partners. So yeah, that's why we can help you not only with a product, but also to make it happen. Then we have our own support department. We have 6 or 7 support specialists who are there all day to help you out from an administrative perspective to do remote support. So we can help you out with making an integration to your Outlook, for example, or helping to set up your Azure ID. So there's so much that we can help you out with. And we also do the training from our support department. And they also build up the help center, which is accessible online from our website, to even if we're not reachable by phone, that you can still find every documentation on our website. And at the end, all software is built in-house. We have our own software development team, which is divided by a Dutch team and a Macedonian team, but together they provide all the software you need anytime. So let's have a look in some more detailed new features that we released. So probably everybody is aware of the room booking possibilities these days. And why is that important? If you don't have a room booking system, then people get confused. Who is in what room today? Where can I go for my meeting? And that's important because we see that the need of more meeting rooms is growing and the demand for desks is declining, because people intend to go to the office to meet one another and not certainly to work the whole day, because you can also do that from home. So if all these meeting rooms are available, how do I get the availability of one for myself? Well, you can do that in our case via Microsoft Outlook or via Google G Suite, or maybe via Topdesk if you like, but also via our own portal online or a mobile app or on a mapping which is available on a touchscreen probably. And next to the room booking, which is available also via the room panel, we also have the room control. And that's a feature which not everybody knows of, but now everybody gets to certain meeting rooms. They're not always capable to also switch on the screen or switch off the light or whatever. And that's something we can do also with our control panel. And of course, we'd like to tell you more about that in a more specific situation. We also built some latest features. For example, we get questions from customers who say, well, we have people who are colorblind, so how does that work on your mapping? So we have now the accessibility marks, so that you not only by color can divide if something is occupied or free, but also can see it by icons. We already had the Find My Colleague, so it's very easy to find your colleague via your app or via the mapping on your online portal. And what's coming soon is that we're now building also the booking of parking spots, so that you can book your car park next to your desk and next to your meeting room, so that your whole experience for the day can be covered by you from your couch at home via your mobile app. And that will be available in Q3 of this year. And we also have created a Microsoft Teams link into our portal. So if you book a meeting, you can also make it directly a Microsoft Teams meeting. And the next phase will be that we also integrate Microsoft Teams into our platform. So that means that if you are working in Microsoft Teams, there will be an icon available of the logo of GoBright. And once you push that button, our portal opens up within Microsoft Teams. So you will be able to book rooms and desks and lockers directly from Microsoft Teams. And also this will be available end of Q3 or starting Q4 of this year. Then when we look a little bit further into the desk booking, it's the same experience actually, because from the same portal or the same app, you can also book your desk. But what makes GoBright very special is that next to a software solution, we also have a hardware solution, because desk booking is actually step 1 from the full desk management process. Because it's even as important to how do I find my desk if I booked it, and how do I check into my desk, and how do I adjust my desk to my personal presets, for example, if it's a height adjustable desk. And all these questions comes together in this Connect unit. So the lightning is very important to show people which desks are available or which ones are occupied. And if it's green, you can just check in, just as you see here, with your mobile app or with your NFC badge or RFID tag, and it will know who you are. So you get also the availability to drive your desk up and down to your personal preset and height. And this is a unique selling point of GoBright, because this is a solution nobody else sells these days in the world. And of course, you can also attach a sensor to it, so that we always have the occupancy status of all desks. Even if you don't check in, still the occupancy will be measured. And also for the desk booking, we have some new features like team booking. If you're a team manager and you want to have a meeting tomorrow with your team and you grant them also a desk after the team meeting, then you can just make a booking for your whole team and everybody will get a desk assigned just by one click. So that's quite nice. Today, we can also make recurrent desk bookings. So if you say, hey, I'm always on Tuesday in the office, I will, for the next 3 weeks or the next 6 weeks, I will book a desk on the Tuesday just by one click for a recurrent booking, and it's always there for you the coming 6 weeks. And here again, also the Microsoft Teams integration. I already explained that. We're working hard on that to make sure that this full experience is not only coming from Microsoft Outlook, but also from Microsoft Teams. And then, of course, the data-driven workspace. What is very important is that all this data will be assembled. And because of the fact that we have just one platform for all our solutions, all data regarding workplace management, desks, meeting rooms will come together in the same report. So we have our standard analytics in our portal, which is free of charge and comes with licenses. But next to that, we also built now a Power BI connector. So you can extract the raw data from our portal, put it into probably a template, which we already made, but also into your own reporting structure within Power BI. So you can manage your office always from data and combine it with all other data-driven equipment you use in your modern office environment. So we hope that you like these features. And if you want to know more of that and you want to elaborate a little further on with us together, just scan the QR code, which you see now on the picture, and request for a demo or a trial. And we're more than happy to have a good discussion on one of these topics we just covered in this webinar. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to be in touch with me, you know how to reach me. And we're open to help you out to find and to make a start for the good hybrid working space. Thank you very much and have a nice day.